So in this video we're going to be replacing the push button siphon and a fill valve on this toilet. So we're going to show you how you change these parts on this toilet. See that it's been overflowing, hence why we're changing it. Here are the parts. So it's a Viva closed coupled kit. We've got the Viva fill valve, bottom entry fill valve. What we like to use is a Fluidmaster push button siphon. There's the push button siphon inside, and also the tap connector, which we're also going to change. The main reason we change it is because this rubber washer gets worn. It's cost a couple of quid. It's always better just to change it. The tools you'll need for the job is a crosshead screwdriver, a spanner, large grips, and small grips will come in handy as well. So the first thing you guys got to do is turn off the water supply. Here's an isolation valve. It stops the water coming up into the loo. So at the minute you can see it's already been turned off. So before we got here it was off. To turn it back on it would be in line with the pipe. When it's off it's across. So that's off at the minute. The second thing to do is to remove the flexible tap connector with the spanner. The next thing you need to do is locate the wing nuts underneath the toilet, and you need to undo these wing nuts, because these wing nuts is what holds the cistern to the actual pan. So sometimes you'll have to get a spanner, and if you put the spanner about there and give it a twist, it will come off. We were very lucky today. It was really loose and there's nothing around here. If there is, you can try some WD-40 or something like that, spray it on the thread. Worst case scenario, you just get an angle grinder and you get your angle grinder and chop it off. And just be careful not to damage the actual ceramic of the toilet. So let's get these wing nuts off. There'll be another wing nut on the other side of the toilet, so if you remove that as well. Once the wing nuts have been removed, then you need to remove these screws which secure the cistern to the wall. Now that's done, you should be able to lift the toilet out in a straight line. Yep, the toilet's out. Empty the contents into a sink. That's it. It is worth noting that if the cistern is full before taking it off, you may have to get a cup or something and take it out like that, or wet vac, or you can try siphoning it down into the loo. But just try as much as you can to get as much water you can out of this cistern, because it holds 6 litres of water. It can be quite heavy. So once that's done, now we've got to remove the nuts, the washer, so what we do, we get the siphon, get the siphon in, so we get the siphon on like that. It needs to be tight but not too tight. If you tighten it too much you'll snap the nut. So just enough where you can feel a bit of resistance. That's tight, make sure that's all straight. You get your donut washer, and you put your donut washer over this like that. These nuts will fit on the end like so. So you get your siphon and do it. No silicone needed. Make sure you've got your filter in there. You can adjust the height of the fill valve by removing this, twisting, moving it higher and lower. What I usually do is I'd offer it up to the siphon. I'll have a look where I think the line should be, twist it in place, done. Put the clip back in place. So that's all done. Make sure the washer's on there at the bottom. Push the fill valve on. Also use the washer and the nut. And again, you want to tighten it, but not too much. Just when you feel that resistance, that's enough. It's done. What we're doing now, we're removing this flexible tap connector. Now we've removed the flexible tap connector and we're left with the olive. So the olive's in good condition, so there's no point cutting it out and putting a new one. You can either wrap some PTFE around the actual olive to thicken it up, or just put some jointing compound around it, which we're going to do now. The jointing compound we use is JetBlue V2+. So now we're ready to put the siphon back onto the toilet. This can be tricky. Rubber washer on the top, the metal washer on the bottom. Do the wing nuts up. That's it. Get it hand tight, and then do the other side. Whilst you're doing the wing nuts up, you do one side first, hand tight. You do the second side. Once you've done the second side, hand tight. Put your hand at the top here. Push this side down. Do that side again, hand tight, and then again. Keep moving back and forth until they're relatively quite stiff and it's secure. So once you've done that, you connect the flexible tap connector back up. Once it's in, secure the toilet back with the screws. You may have to drill new holes now because it may have moved due to the washer underneath. So now that's done and you're confident everything is joined together, you've got to turn the water back on. So get your flathead screwdriver and turn the isolation valve back on. See the water filling. If you notice any leaks or anything like that, you just want to stop it, you can always just lift this bit up here and it will stop the water. Keep your hand there, have a look around, make sure you have no leaks on the bottom here or anything. We're good to go. So I can let go. So we want the water line to get to roughly this 6 litre line here. Slightly over the 6 litre line, but that's fine. If you wanted to adjust the level, you simply grab this and you twist it and it will either move it up or down. Clockwise is down, anti-clockwise is up. Because I've pressed it down, I've allowed more water into the system. And also the overflow is fine. So I've got the push button. So now we've put the push button into the holding, just temporarily, just to make sure, to check if we've got any leaks. So this will now tell us if we've got any leaks. On the first flush, you usually know if you have any leaks. So give it a flush, Curtis. If you had any leaks, you'd see them weeping out of here, coming down your wing nuts. Also the fill valve, if you had any leaks, you'll know straight away as soon as you turn the water on. But as you can see, we have no leaks. Now we're letting the water rise back up to make sure it's roughly where we want it. If you want to adjust your overflow, you twist this anti-clockwise, push it down, push it up to where you want it. I usually get it to find out where the water line is and go slightly above the water line. So that's perfect. If you have to look at the overflow, I could always go lower if I wanted to. It's just slightly over the line. Lock it into place. Now we're going to put the push button onto the lid. So we always clean the lid just so it looks nicer and it's a proper job. So this bit here, you can discard this bit because we want the push button to sit flushly inside. If you had a hole which wasn't big enough for the whole thing to fit in, you would push this in like so first and then use this to cover that gap there, so it just looks aesthetically better, but we don't need it at the minute. So we're going to put the push button in. Get a small little nut in. And then on the actual push button, you need to use this little button here. This will allow you to go in and out. We just attach it, so put it on there, push it in, and now it's fully secure. You can drop that down, give the toy a little clean. Push button's now been fitted. Flush to make sure it's okay. Check again for leaks. We've got no leaks here at all. Just on the isolation valve. So job's done. If you guys got any questions, leave us a comment in the comment section. Like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you.